2D platformer. At one point, they were the variant of game most used by video game programmers. Today, they still stand strong but fight for recognition in a world full of 3D, third person, first person. Well, you get the idea. On this episode, I go back to a couple of platformers I had back when the 32-bit era was just starting. These games were among the 5 initial games I got for my 3DO system. And if you don't know what a 3DO is, keep watching. No matter how incognito it was when it first came out, or how expensive it was to buy, the 3DO opened a new world for me before the PS1 blew my mind with its graphics. So one year, instead of getting a brand new system, which I believe was the PS1 that came out a year before and was like $300, I asked my mother to instead buy me the 3DO, which at the time was at its dying moments. And stores started to drop the prices dramatically. I ended up getting 5 games and the FZ10 model made by Panasonic for a little over $100. But after a couple of days of playing this machine, I realized why they dropped the prices. Although the system was a powerful machine for the time, the game library was nothing to write home about. So today, instead of talking about one game, I'll be covering 2 platformers. One that's pretty good and I think shows what the 3DO was capable of, and another that blows. And it's a good example of what I'd like to call the 32-bit unfinished game era. Some of these games, well, most of these games in the 32-bit era, especially in the early years, didn't have the polish and care most games of today have. More the reason for me to take you back and show you what us older gamers that played through the 32-bit era had to go through to find a new game. Instead of leaving the best for last, I'm going to start by showing you the better platformer. Gex for the 3DO.
It all started so simply. I had just finished my usual morning routine of nude funkercise, fired up the Barcalounger, grabbed a quick bite to eat, and prepared to watch some serious tube. Little did I know, my snack was sent by Rez.
Let's get back to the mystery man.
I got this as a pack-in with the system, and it's pretty much the best platformer on the 3DO.
Ooh, trick or treat.
The controls are pretty smooth, and you feel like you're safe moving around a lot. There were only a couple times I had problems with climbing on walls, a la Knuckles from Sonic and Knuckles. The main goal of this game is to make your way through the worlds of forgotten 70s cheese, while Gex spits out cheesy one-liners that most of us will never get.
Boss, can you read? Hey, it's Darth Vader.
Then you have to defeat Rez, this roughly polygonated robot bug thing that looks like a toy from Pizza Planet. And then you have to watch an uber horrible 10-minute ending that doesn't give you an epilogue or anything, just shows you a bunch of storyboards in low res after you watch static for 10 minutes, with your occasional word typed in booger green. This is the normal speed it goes at. And this is how long you have to wait until you even see a storyboard. But when it gets there, I suppose looking at it won't hurt. I guess you can say this is the precursor to special features being included in the game via main menu. Without joking aside, Gex is a great example of the 32-bit era and how far we've gone in the world of video games. This was state of the art back then, and Gex himself spawned more sequels and eventually was converted into 3D in the 64-bit era, which for some reason felt like games went backwards instead of going forward. Gex eventually died off with the majority of the franchises from the 90s, which in my opinion you can count the surviving franchises of gaming from the 90s with your 10 fingers. And now I've saved the worst for last. This abomination of a game is PHOENIX3. Don't ask me where the hell the first two are, I have no clue. That says a lot about the first two games, if they even exist. They suck, period.
We are the Grail. We come for Hyperion. All below is ours, all within is ours. Surrender your weapons at once, resist and you will perish.
Or I've got a better one for you. Maybe they suck so much they skipped Phoenix 1 and 2 and went straight for the third one. The one that should tie the whole story together. But don't mind me, it was a waste of $5, which was how much I got it for the winter of '95. And not too much surprise, 1995 was the same year this piece of shit was released. So it didn't even take an entire year to get this piece of shit to the ultra bargain bin.
Here to give me my last rites, old man?
Try not to judge me too harshly, Derek.
Save me the holier than thou crap. You don't think I'll come back?
Before you go, I must give you this. It will help you find what you seek.
And let me guess. This way, if I don't make it, and at least the truth about Hyperion will remain buried.
We must go now. You'll need strength. You'll need courage. And you'll need this.
I wanted to show you this game just to compare a good platformer to a bad one, and this one is a bad one. I mean, from the controls, which you can't jump and shoot, crouch while shooting, jump well enough not to get hurt by these stupid fires all over the place. This game is so bad, I've never even seen a demo of a game played so badly by its programmers. The game combined live-action cutscenes with 2D platforming, and they were very bad at it. Then again, at the same time this game was released, most games were not looking that great. Like I said before, the 32-bit era, along with the 64 era, saw its share of bad games. Games like this, using limited sprites that resemble a real person and not making them feel lifelike, is not a good idea. For example, Mortal Kombat uses this method and uses it correctly, and that game is on a normal SNES or Genesis. And for $400 less at the time, you didn't have to worry about scratched discs or low production quality video. I've never played completely through this game, and I'm not gonna start now. I've even searched everywhere on the net for passwords to get to the final level, but I guess no one even cares enough to get through it. Garbage. That's all for this episode of VGR, and once again I'm Richard, and I thank you for watching. Until next time.